So let's get started with our discussion with a simple question for all three of you. If you could simply state in a sentence or two, what's the one thing a business can do right now to restart their business and to refuse to participate in a recession? And Lorena, I'd love to start with you.
Thank you, Ivan. I think that the most important thing they could do right now is to, and you mentioned it in your introduction, get a mentor. I think that that's exactly what pushed me through and made me turn around and continue with this business. If it had been only me, I would have just sat down on the curb and started crying. So but it was thanks to this network of mentors that I have around the world that I was able to move forward and be successful with BNI Online.
Great. Let's come back to that. BJ, in a sentence or two, what's your recommendation?
Thank you, Ivan. I would say reframe. So reframing is about looking at a situation and then looking at our capabilities and then looking at all of that differently. So what are we doing right now? What are our capabilities? How can we do it differently?
We'll come back to that. Mac, in a sentence or two, what do you think people can do?
I think they need to rebuild or build relationships and re-engage with the people that are the customers again. And I think that's important.
Excellent. All right, so let's go back and spend about a minute each. Lorena, you said mentors, that was really important to you. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
I think it was crucial. I've always said that I went through all the stages of grief during this period. At first I was angry, then I was in denial, and all of them. So when I finally got to the stage of acceptance, I decided I'm gonna reach out to my network, and what Mac was saying is so important. We have been rebuilding relationships with all of our colleagues from around the world. This is the time when we need them. So I reached out to all my colleagues with the ones that I have a very close relationship with, and somehow we found a way to figure it out. We got the best practices on how to make this work, and it made a huge difference for me. And it could work with any type of business. Reach out to your colleagues from other parts of the world and find out what they're doing.
Yeah, and get their advice. Great suggestion. Exactly. BJ, you talked about reframing. Talk about that a little more.
Yeah, I'll share a couple of examples of how I've seen some of our members do that. One of our members, his other business is a brewery. He actually just recently launched a brewery making beer and spirits in Uganda. And this was just literally a few months before the whole pandemic situation broke out. So here you are, brand new brewery, invested lots of money, and then you got the situation nobody predicted. But he was very quick to look at the situation. He said, okay, what are my capabilities? I've got a bottling line. I've got the key ingredient to make sanitizer, which is required in the new situation. And he literally pivoted his line. All the pubs and the bars and everything was shut. So obviously there was no demand for the beer that it was making. That's what it did. Very successful. And another quick one is a member who traditionally does team building, in-person team building activities. And what she was able to do was reframe that, her capability. She had a team which can really help people doing team building exercises. She pivoted online. And the great thing is, she now realizes that her audience, her target market is not just limited to where she's based, but it's beyond. The whole world is now open to her, and she's actually getting inquiries from different countries for what she does. It's amazing.
Those are two great examples. And I actually know someone who's also in the event planning industry. They always said it's impossible to do this online. Guess what? They now have international clients that they never had before because they made that pivot. So that's a great suggestion, BJ. I appreciate it. Mac, you talked about re-engaging. Well, I think that's an important one.
Yeah, re-engaging with clients is very important, because what happens is some of our clients that we have recently done business with, just to check on them. Hey, how are you doing? It's not like going back and asking them for business necessarily, but if they make a list of clients that have done business with them in the last 6 months, maybe a year ago, they did a good work for them. And just sending a text message and re-engaging. Like even today, I got a WhatsApp message from a vendor that I used about 3-4 years ago. And I was surprised. Oh, wow. I just got a message from him. I said, wow, he's just checking on me, just saying how things are going with me, and if things are going good here. So just re-engaging, getting yourself made visible right now, and you're rebuilding that relationship, because the first stage in rebuilding, restarting the world is re-engaging with your client.